Hey, and we're back with Keeping It Real with Candace. All right, Keeping It Real team. So, I've been liking these Iyanla episodes that have been coming out. They're really good, really deep. I wanted to touch on probably every episode because, again, which I said prior to my other video, I work in the foster care system. I work in the mental health field for a long time as well, and so a lot of these subjects that Iyanla brings up is real life. It's stuff that I've seen, for myself with children and adolescents and adults that I've worked with in the field. So I was, looking over the Memphitz episode, and then I guess the Mitchell brothers were right after that episode. And so, excuse me, y'all. Memphitz episode was really, really, really deep. Sometimes people harbor pain, and you don't know how much pain people harbor until it has to be confronted and addressed. And so I guess Memphitz hadn't really dealt with the death of his father yet. And with him dying due to a Ku Klux Klan member killing him. And so I think he died when he was 19. And so maybe when he was younger. I could be wrong. It could be when he was younger. It could have been when he was younger. His father died. I don't want to be inaccurate about the age or whatever. But regardless of young or old, missing a parent dying, and especially when you have a relationship with that parent and you love them and y'all have a bond. Because sometimes you can have a mother or a father, but you really don't have a relationship with them. And them dying, it's like, I love my mom and my dad, but hey, rest in peace. And nobody's attitude should be that way. But if you don't have a relationship with somebody, then it's hard to kind of have feelings. But Memphitz really, really loved his father, and I felt his pain in that episode. And it was like, wow, how long are you gonna go on with doing drugs or using drugs to mask how you feel on the inside because you don't want to ever deal with those feelings, of your father passing away, and how his father passed away is what really touched me. Because in our culture, it's a lot of we still have racism. It hasn't ended. It's just under the surface, but it's still there. We know it. And so as a black man, African American man, how can you hold so much of that weight, but we have no choice because of the world that we live in? One good thing I did like that Iyanla did, she had a funeral service, with Memphitz, and she brought in the sister as well, one of his sisters. And, the funeral, you're saying bye to the body, but you're also saying bye to the spirit. And it's like, okay, I know that this shell that this person I love lived in is gone, but what about the spirit, the person that has left? Like, I connected with that person. As an African American man, those relationships are so important. That's why I was saying to some of my friends and co-workers and classmates that I wanted to do an episode on fatherhood and how important it is, especially with African American men, the importance of a father. It is so important, not just any father, but a father. Like I was saying in one of my other videos, my real father didn't raise me. I love him. I thank God him and my mother had a night of passion to have me. I love him, but he didn't raise me. My stepfather, Randy, did. And it doesn't always have to be your blood father, or a blood mother to raise. You can be other women and other men in your life that end up being mentors and fathers and mother figures to you. And I had a man in my life that wasn't my blood father, but he raised me as his own. And for Memphitz, I wish he had somebody else in his life to help him and guide him, after his father died. And I think his mother did the best that she could, and she probably just kind of pacified a lot of stuff, which, you lost your husband. How can a mother deal with losing your husband and having to take care of all the kids on your own, be the mother and the father and the provider, and so one good thing I want to bring up again that Iyanla stated was, you can't begin to have a relationship with your child when they were younger, when his father died. You have to begin to have a relationship with him at the age he is now. She was just letting her know that, a lot of times you have to be a life coach. You have to be a guide. be a wise woman and say, hey, you know, I got some wisdom, I got some guidance for you. You know, if you want to take it, I'm gonna give it to you, but it's up to you. You can't just tell somebody what to do. They grown by now, you know. But my heart just really went out to Myth, and his sister. And his sister looked like she bottles a lot of her feelings. If I can just tell when she was sitting there, she just seemed like she carries all of it on the inside and she doesn't express it. And I had a lot of clients and people that are like that I've worked with. It's all bottled up, but you can still see it, even though you don't express it and you don't get it out. It's all there in your face and in your energy that you, whatever you're going through, it's all bottled up. But sometimes with people like that, and I've been there, where you reach a point where you explode because something, you snap. And it's always good to express yourself and to talk about things and to have a therapist or a mentor or a friend, a mother, whoever in your life to talk to you about these things, to get all of that depression, all of that anger, all of that emotion, all that crying, get it out, let it go. Don't hold that stuff in. I'm trying to tell you, I've been there. I used to be that person where I held everything in. And like with Myth, with Memphitz situation, he's dealing with his stuff with anger and with drugs and with things that are not helping him. It's just masking it. Because, you know, once you take a drug, it feels good for the moment. But then you come back to reality and like, oh, dang, I'm here back to reality again. And the emotions are still there. They haven't left it like, hey, depression, I'm here. Hey, anger, I'm here. Anxiety on the shelf. You know, stressors and tormenting spirits that, you know, try to torment you, you know, because you feel guilty. And the way his father died was just, whoa. I mean, it's a lot of people's stories where, you know, like Emmett Till, when he got killed, you know, just for so-called whistling and a kissing at a white woman, you know, and he ended up dead, you know. Oh my God, that was a powerful story in itself. And I was just thinking that as a son, how can you process that? Your father being killed by a Ku Klux member. You know, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of forgiveness. That's a lot of forgiveness if you can forgive. It's great, but some people, it takes a long time. And even if that person is in jail and they dead by now, it's like, but you're still alive. My father dead. I still don't have him. He's gone. You know, that part of my life is missing because of you. Thank you. You know, but I think towards the end of the show, he may or may not have went to rehab or took therapy. I'm not sure if he did or didn't. But I pray that Myth finds the healing that he needs, so that way he can begin to live. Because sometimes we can just exist and we're just walking beings, but we're not living. We're just here. We're just walking the earth, and we feel like we have no purpose. But you do have a purpose. God has a plan and a purpose for all of us. But can we all say, you know what, let me deal with my past and not let my past deal with me, okay? Let me deal with my past and not let my past deal with me. And be present in the moment and be alive and be a living human being. But yeah, I just, these episodes, they have been good. And again, I'll say prior, whether people think these episodes are good or not good to come out, I'm glad they are, because the conversation is being had. I've seen this stuff for a long time, and Iyanla's just exposing a lot of stuff that all of us already work in the field. Like I said, mental health workers and counselors and teachers and people in the mental health field and the foster care system, social services, social work. We see this stuff all the time. And, you know, I take my job very seriously, and I care about the people that I work with, you know, and for people to take the time out to help somebody, like Iyanla said and other people say, Iyanla can't fix nobody's life. She can just guide people to the water. That whether you drink it or not, it's on you. You have to do the work. She is not nobody's God. She ain't nobody's healer. She's just opening the door for that person to say, hey, I got these toolbox, and in here, these are the tools to help you fix your life. Now, you can either choose to take the tools and to do something with it, or you can say, hey, I don't know that I ever be ready. Maybe 10 years from now I might be ready. But I'm saying, why wait 10 years from now to be healed? Why wait 10 years from now to say, I don't want to hold on to this anymore? and take your story and start helping other people with your story. And helping that person helping the other person with their story. And that person helping the other person with their story. And as one heal, another heals. And as one heal, another heals. And as one heal, another heal. Then you got a whole family healed. Then you got a whole community healed. Then you got a whole state healed. Then you got a whole East Coast, West Coast healed. However you want to see it. But one person helping another person helps another family be healed, and affects the community. So that was really powerful. So I really wanted to get in and talk about the Mitchell brothers. That case really hit me hard because, again, you know, I keep saying, okay, you're working in a foster care system. Seeing those young men talk about the foster care system is true. It's true. It's true. Some kids are protected and some fall through the cracks. And I have to say on my caseload, don't nobody fall through them cracks unless you want to, because Miss Candace gonna be on spot on the job, and I'm gonna make sure ain't nobody doing nothing to you. I don't play that. You know, but a lot of children do fall through the cracks, and some do get molested, and some are molested in their own bio homes before they even get into care. And to truthfully, some kids come straight in anger, straight in trauma, straight in with an attitude. And you, as a caseworker or a worker in the system, you don't take into that person. You say, hey, baby, we here to help. We here to give you services. And like I said prior with the Kamaya video is, we provide those services. So I want to dispel the myth that help is not there, because it's not true. When we first get these kids, we first try to get them straight into a home where they're compatible with someone. And after that, we start looking for those services for those children. And these kids are given those services. And what happens is they're not ready. A lot of them are not ready. They're still in that adolescent stage. Their brains are still developing, and they're still trying to process themselves being apart from their home. Because the same blood always tries to mat itself back together. You always see the ducklings falling behind the mama because it's the same blood. And so from what I was listening with the Mitchell brothers is, you know, I think the mother might have been on drugs, and she probably left the kids to the father. And as men, as a father, that's a whole lot of tasks to take on with taking on children. As women, we can do it. We can take it on. For those who do. We take on 5, 6, 10 kids, and we feed them all, and we work, and we get them all like soldiers, and get them up from school, and take them to sports, and bring them back. But as a father, I guess he was like, I can't do it. Somebody else got to raise these kids. But that is what end up happening, is people like us, we end up raising everybody else's children. And it's a lot of us that do care about the kids that we work with. So I don't want this being out that you have workers that don't care. There are a lot of us that have been working in this field for years, and we take our jobs very seriously, and we are raising other people's children, and we care for them, and we give them as much as we can give them. And a lot of the problems is the resistance. We get a lot of resistance because a lot of the children haven't processed them being pulled away from their homes, or because of a situation with mom or dad not being able to take care of them. Grandma can't do it. You know, the kids come in angry. I'm upset. I got an attitude. I want my mama. I would love for you to be with your family. I would love for you to be back with your family. But at this moment in time, your family is saying they can't provide, you know, the tools needed to take care of you, because it's so much. And I think the youngest, he had ended up getting molested, and the older brother, I think Marcus, felt guilty because he either left the group home or something like that, and he thought that everything was going to be fine, or I think it was either a foster home, and he thought everything was going to be fine and nothing bad was going to happen. But little did he know, you know, I think he was violated and touched as well. And so my heart goes out to all of the brothers. You know, they've had to live that street life, and again, it's our brothers fighting over territory and guns and violence, and one of the other brothers got killed, and I think one is in jail. And you know, we see it all the time, but the help is there. That people, I will say it again, the help is there. There are just some children that literally fall through the cracks. Our eyes can't be everywhere. We can't see everything that's going on, and you never know who you're going to encounter. So you have one child coming in the home, and you have another child coming in home. This child is coming with trauma, and this child is coming with trauma. One may have been molested, and has already been molested by somebody else. So they're coming in as the perpetrator because they want to dominate somebody else because they've been dominated. So it's like hurt people. And when a child has been touched, it changes them. They end up either doing the same thing as somebody else, or they say, no, just because I was touched don't mean I'm going to go out and do it to somebody else. So that child or that individual has to make their own decision. And if they have the cognitive ability to make that decision, and I see that a lot as well. But, the agency I work for, we be on top of the game. We be on top of what's going on. We don't play that. And so, but that's not every agency, and we can't save every child, and we can't save every individual. And so that's why I believe prayer is so important, that we pray for every child that we can't help and that we can't touch. I've only encountered the people that I've encountered. And so, for the ones that I have encountered, I just pray, that other mentors and other counselors and other people come into their lives to help them, so that way it can guide them the right way. But another good thing I wanted to bring up about the Iyanla episode was Iyanla went and researched all of the boys' names, and that was so beautiful. And it just seemed like she looked like the mother figure to them, and then they were like the younger children pulling from the breast of her milk of what she had to give. And I seen smiles on all of their faces, and just see all those black men, black brothers together, being receptive to what she had to give him. Because, with therapy or with dealing with emotions, it's a breakdown. And then it's a build up. You get your breakdown because you have to put everything on the table. Then you put the blocks into pieces to build you back up. And what she did was she researched their names, and all of them had beautiful definitions. I think one of them was Michael, like the archangel. I think Marcus's was Joy. I think the younger one, his was the chief. And she was just telling him, it's nothing wrong with how you're delivering. It's nothing wrong with delivering the message, but it's how you deliver the message to how, and people will receive you. So two people can make the same statement, but they both can say them in a different way. And there's one person that's more palatable, and the other one is not as palatable. And they're like, hold on, I don't like the way you said that. And you said cookie, but you ain't said cookie the right way. You know what I'm saying? So, I just love the way she defined all their names. She defined her name, what her name meant, and she defined all of their names, and it was just beautiful. And I just go back and think how my mother had told me that she found my name out of the Bible. My name is Candace, and Queen of Ethiopia. And so, your name has validity. It has a purpose. It has a positive spirit behind it, and what we do with God gives us, it's our choice. And so I wish those Mitchell brothers so much luck and so much blessings, and I pray that they are able to find resolve with everything that has went on in their family. And I think and there was an argument too as well about how one of the other brothers died, because one that got robbed, I think the one that has mental challenges, and Marcus went out to help, and his brother ended up dying. I think he feels guilty for his brother dying. He feels guilty for his younger brother being molested. He felt like he had to take on the whole weight of the world of wanting to care for his brother. And sometimes that's how it ends up happening when a father or mother dies. The oldest one usually has to take on the baton. It shouldn't be their responsibility. Let's be clear. It shouldn't be any child's responsibility to take on a mother-father figure role, but sometimes it ends up happening that way because both parents are gone or one is gone. And so then the responsibility goes to the oldest. And then it makes you grow up faster because, oh my God, I'm the oldest, I got to take care of everybody else, and I don't want them to be out there. And so I hope that Marcus finds healing to know that it was not his fault about what happened to him and his brothers in their life. It is not your fault. It's not your fault. These are just the cards that we've all been dealt, but it's what we do with the cards we've been dealt afterwards. So the Mitchell brothers, I think they all were raised differently in the system, but now have come back together. And a lot of times that's what happens with a lot of the siblings. We try to keep siblings together, but sometimes, you know, not every foster parent is able to take all the kids, and sometimes they're all raised in different homes, and then they end up finding each other when they get older, and then trying to mend those relationships. And we support that all the way. Even within the system, let's make sure we do play dates, let's make sure we do bio visits, let's make sure those siblings can talk on the phone, they can visit with each other, they can play, you know, go to games with each other, so that way, even though mom and dad is gone, you know, you can still have that blood relationship. And you know, sometimes just because you blood don't mean y'all friends. I love you, you my sister, you my brother, but you ain't my friend, you know. But you hope that it would never be that way, and sometimes it does end up being that way. And so I hope for the Mitchell brothers that they keep that brother bond together and say, hey, yeah, I was raised in the foster care system and my parents did end up leaving us, but I'm not gonna let that be a curse or weight over my life. I'm gonna let it be a testimony and say, I've come out of darkness, but I'm ready. And I think one of the other ones, he talked about suicide as well, and how he wanted to kill himself every day. It is a lot of kids and young adults that want to commit suicide because they feel like their life is so heavy that it's going to be over. I'm going to tell you right now, don't you let that spirit of suicide take you over. You have purpose and you have a plan, and God has something for you. Don't let that spirit depress you, because it will send you right to a dark place, and that's not where you want to be. You know, and my heart goes out to him as well. And I think he said he was ready to come out because he had been looking for love in all the wrong places, you know. And I just loved his honesty, you know. And then I also want to hit on the oldest brother that does appear to be mentally challenged, and I've worked with a lot of mentally challenged people as well. And you know, I think the brother Marcus wanted to be mad at him, but at the same time he couldn't be mad. And he was like, I know he's my oldest brother, but he has a lot of issues, and I think that was due to mom's drug habits as well. I don't spin me for no facts. It's just what I saw on the episode. And so you know, I'm gonna do a video on the mental health field as well, because I have a co-worker that we both work in the mental health field together, and we'll go more into depth on diagnosis and DSMs and how we work in the field with people's children that have, you know, been mentally challenged, and how we've helped them, you know. But yeah, but that's it. But I really like these Iyanla episodes. I'm glad they're coming out. Some people may or may not like them, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. This is real stuff. This real stuff going on in your house, all of our houses. Why not talk about it? Because that story, these stories is going to help somebody else. Even if it's one person to say, hey, that's me. My father died. That was me. My father died by a Ku Klux Klanman, or my mom was on drugs and she left us, or my daddy was supposed to raise us, but he left us, and I ended up in the foster care system, and I ended up being molested, and I was in the group home, and I was in the residential, and you know, and some foster parents I still have relationships, and some I don't, and some I hate. You know, let's keep it real. I mean, it's all about getting that stuff out, communicating, expressing it, and then once you lay it on the table, from the breakdown, let's build up. Break it down, build back up. Put those pieces back where they belong, and put that smile on your face and say, hey, my test is a testimony to help somebody else. When I come free, the next person is free, and that person is free, and that person is free, and we all gonna be free. So yeah, I'm gonna keep looking at these episodes and checking them out, and then doing my review afterwards. And I just hope that these videos that I do help somebody else and say, hey, I've been through that. You know, my mother died, my father died. I've had about 3 deaths in the family, two deaths in my family, and a friend, you know, a classmate that died. So from last year to this year. So believe me when I tell you, I understand personally how it is to lose loved ones and how it affects, you know, your ongoing daily life. So yeah, Thank you guys for tuning in with Keeping It Real with Candace and my Keeping It Real Army. I'll try to be back next week with 2 more interviews. All right, you guys. Love you. Bye.